Welcome to Totally Woman Podcast. Totally Woman is a bi-weekly podcast that uncovers essential health knowledge and highlights inspiring journeys that transforms women's lives. I'm your host, Rosemary Crosdale, a licensed adult gerontology nurse practitioner, and this season, we want to hear from you. Email us at totallywomanpod1@gmail.com and find us on Instagram at totallywomanpod to join our conversation. While we encourage you to listen to this podcast for health tips, it is not a substitute for a relationship with a primary care provider or clinic. Now let's get to today's episode. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. If you're just coming in, I know, it's been a busy work day. Everybody's just kind of either on their way home or settling in. So for those of you who can join me, I'm so thankful. Thankful to you for coming on. Welcome, welcome. So this is the finale of season 2. My God, I can't believe that Totally Woman is 2 seasons in. So this is 2 seasons in. And hello, hi, Prisha. How are you? Thank you for joining. Thank you guys for joining in. Thanks to those on Instagram. Tell someone if they're not, Rose _ Cross 1 or just Rosemary Crosdale on Facebook. So welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. I just want to have a little trivia for those of you who have been tuning in with me for the past 2 seasons. I just want to put it out there and for you to just, get one of these bookmarks. I can send one of these bookmarks to you. I want you to email totallywomanpod1@gmail.com. If you can just tell me one guest who was on this season's, who was on season 2. So if you guys can just tell me, ladies, if you know one guest who was on season 2, email me at totallywomanpod1@gmail.com to get your hands on one of these bookmarks. Okay? Yes, so that's one of the trivia questions going out. Thank you guys for joining me so much. Thank you for joining. We're going to give it a little bit more time, but welcome so much. I must continue just to sing, my gratitude. I cannot tell you how thankful I am for you guys, who have been with me from the beginning. Some of you have been with me from from season 1 to now. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. Make a comment in the comment box, comment something. Some of you, thank you for the love symbols. Thank you for all the love. I really, really appreciate it. This was a podcast that is, it's near and dear to my heart. And it was just something that, I feel that I could always talk to women about our bodies. It was never something that was taboo to me. And, I enjoy talking to you guys about your bodies and telling you, about different things that will happen to us, different screenings, diseases that can happen, so that you guys are aware and that you can make the right decision on your bodies, right? And make the right decisions for when you're getting your screenings and getting different tests that you need to get done. I mean, a lot of my age group now, some of us, we're entering or we're in our perimenopause or menopausal, whatever you want to call it. But let me tell you, the hot flashes, all of these things are beginning to be very real. I never thought at this stage in my life, this would be something that we would be talking about, but it's very realistic. We see women now who are very open about a lot of the issues that they're going through, experiencing some of these things, right? Like I said, I cannot express my gratitude enough to everyone for your continued support. I really do not take it lightly. I want to thank the tri-state area, Brooklyn, Queens, New York, Manhattan, the Bronx. I want to thank everyone for just, you know, supporting me, for all of your support. I want to thank people in, other parts of the United States, in the other states like in North Carolina. I want to thank people, you know, from in Canada, different countries. India, I must say, my gratitude to people in India. I have a lot of people in India who have been following me and who have been with me from since season one. So thank you so much to all of you. And I must big up my people in Jamaica for, continuing to support me. Thank you so much for all of your support, to my friends, to my family. I can't thank you guys enough for all of the support. So thank you so much. I'm really, really grateful that I can be able to serve on this platform, and not just, as a nurse practitioner, and also as a registered nurse, and bringing you, the information that, as Black and brown women, sometimes we take certain things for granted. Sometimes the way we're also treated in healthcare, we see a lot of women now. Sometimes women are going in to give birth and they're not coming back home, and you're wondering to yourself, what is happening? So we want to shape these disparities. We want you to know, your signs and symptoms. So if you're having issues with uterine fibroids, for example, these are not things that you have to suffer with. Gone are those days. There's so many different treatment plans and options that are available now for you that you can take advantage of. Okay. But you have to be linked with the source, and you have to actually, also, I always say, know your body's ladies. It's your body. Take the time to know it. Take the time to look at it. Just like how you check your breasts, you do your self-breast exams, all of these things. I want you to continue to do those things, because these are things that will help us to slow down the disease process especially as we're getting older, right? So I just want to encourage you to take stock of these things. And, as women, sometimes one of the things that we tend to do is that we don't prioritize ourselves. We take care of everybody else. We don't take care of ourselves. Or when we do decide to do something and take care of ourselves, it's after everybody else is done, right? So I want to make sure that you are prioritizing yourself. Even if you have kids, you have your spouse, you have whoever, you have to make sure that we're in the month of May. May is almost finished. We're like halfway through the year already, and the time is going by so fast. And some of you, since the beginning of the year, maybe have not had your physical as yet, different things like that you probably didn't get a chance to do. I want to encourage you to go get your physical done, just to have screenings. If you're 45, 40, 45 or older, that you're also getting your colonoscopies done. We see a lot now where Black and brown women, and not only women, but our men as well, are suffering from colon cancer, which this is something that it doesn't have to be, right? Because we have these screenings that we can do in order to screen us before we actually get these diseases. And there are things that I talk about. I say, you go to the bathroom, there's certain things that you have to take stock of, right? You have to look back. Yes. Look back, look at what is actually coming out of you. Look at when you wipe yourself, right? I don't want to gross anybody out, but it's the reality of everything. Because when you go to the doctor, when you go to your nurse practitioner, when they ask you certain questions, then you're able to answer, because you know what is going on inside of your own body, right? So these are things that I'm going to encourage you to really, really take stock of. Notice your bodies. Notice now too, I'm going to also, the summer months are up on us. Sunscreen, very, very important, ladies, that we're using sunscreen with a SPF probably of 30 or greater. Even in your makeup now, they have SPF also in your makeup. Make sure that you're using sunscreen and protecting your skin, moisturizing your skin. your face, your back, you're exposed to the sun. It's not only when you're going to the beach that you need sunscreen, right? We need sunscreen on a daily basis to protect our skin, right? We also want to optimize our hydration, and not just a hydration with water, but also, you know, having fruits and vegetables in our diet, just eating the rainbow, right? The more colorful your plate looks, it's the better it is, especially with fresh fruits. And, you know, especially in these times now, I know sometimes, you know, the budget is not there, but let's prioritize ourselves and, you know, put stuff that we can afford and just try to eat better and do better with ourselves. Okay. So still waiting for some more people to join in. I just want to, you know, continue to encourage you guys. I don't know if anybody have any comments as we're going along so far. What do you like about what do you think about the podcast? How do you think that it's going? Just to get some feedback from you guys, you can actually, you know, put it in the comments. I would love to hear from you. You can also email the Totally Woman Podcast 1@gmail.com. But since we're here live, it would be nice to see some things that you guys, you know, or you ladies are commenting that either have helped you or something that you think that I can do better, any suggestions, you know, everything I can, you know, this is how each one teach one, right? I don't know everything. So if you guys can suggest, I take your suggestions, you know, very seriously. So if you want to encourage, you know, say something to you know, what you think about the podcast. Like I said, this is our second season. Oh, look at that. My daughter just joined. She's my daughter from another mother. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Caroline. How are you? She's left me recently, but I'm so happy that she's here with me. Oh my God. Hello, Sony. Hi, Sony. Thank you for joining. Welcome, welcome. So we're just talking, like I said, for those of you who are just coming on, I just want to show you this this little bookmark that we've gotten. This is a Totally Woman bookmark. And I just want to encourage you, just a little trivia. If you can just list or, you know, comment on a guest that if you can remember a guest that we've had on the show or on the podcast. If you know of a guest that has been on the podcast, you can just comment it in the comments, or you can email us at totallywomanpod1@gmail.com. Hi, Carla. She said, hi, Rose. Hi, so good to hear from you. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Like I said, this thing has been, you know, with me for so long, and I'm so happy with the way how it's turning out. I'm very happy to be able, you know, to bring you information. I sometimes, you know, don't have all the answers, but I really don't shy away from anything. I know that we're on social media, so there's certain things that, of course, I will be, you know, mindful of, but I'm pretty sure I can say vaginas and say different things like that. So nobody will be too grossed out about that, because it's a part of us, right? It's our makeup. But like I was even saying before, if you haven't done your, you know, put yourself, we're already halfway through the year. If you haven't done your physical, if you're 40, 45, and ladies, sometimes you may be experiencing, you know, some irritable bowel where either you're having constant diarrhea or you're suffering from constipation. If you notice changes like that, that is happening within your bowels, right? Sometimes that could be an indication that you may need to have a colonoscopy done earlier than later. I also want to encourage you ladies, if you're 40 and older, to get your mammograms done, unless there is like a significant mom or a grandma that you know who had breast cancer, then you probably would want to check before that, okay? So I just want to encourage you to get your screenings done. Screening, I cannot stress screening enough, because what we're doing when we screen you is that we're screening you before you get the disease. So that's why screening is so important. Also, ladies, 21, if you are 21, right? In this country at 18, you can vote. 21, I think, is the age to drink. So For those of you who didn't have a drink as yet, but anyway. So at 21 is when you can get your first pap smear. That's your first visit for your GYN. And what the pap smear does is that it will help to screen you for cervical cancer, right? Those cells that they're checking will help to screen you for cervical cancer. And I understand there's also a vaccine for cervical cancer. A lot of you will shy away from the vaccine, but the vaccine is very important as well. And if this vaccine is available, it's not going to hurt you to take it. I know a lot of you are young, you're fairly healthy, and sometimes your body is able to shed, some of the things that, because if your immune system is weak, then these are sometimes why some of these things will affect you. But sometimes you never know, right? You can get affected. We see women now, young women who are, dying or getting cervical cancer, right? And they're very young. So sometimes, and it's very hard to pinpoint the signs and symptoms because some of these signs and symptoms, especially for cervical cancer, can mimic other things, right? Sometimes there's no vaginal bleeding. Sometimes there's no pain. There's nothing like that. You just notice. And like I said, you're the best historian. Nobody knows your body better than you. I always say, ladies, you have to look, right? And for the places that you cannot see, I encourage you to take a mirror and you look, right? Notice if you have a mole or something that changes that warrants you going to the dermatologist. I see here someone, Patricia, she asked, what is a first sign of menopause? So when we talk about menopause, right? So there are different stages, but when you're actually in menopause, because sometimes perimenopause where you develop certain symptoms where you're still having a cycle during the perimenopause time, right? It may not be very regular, but you're still having a cycle. When you're in menopause, because menopause is having no period for an entire year. So that's how you know that you're in menopause. Menopause usually begins when you have had no cycle for an entire year. So let's say that it's 11 months into the year and your period decides to come. You're not in menopause. You're still in perimenopause because here comes your cycle. But if you get to 12 months without any period, then we can say that you're in menopause. Sometimes there's certain medication that you can have some menopausal symptoms too. Those medications sometimes, especially for people who are trying to shrink their fibroids. I know Lupron is like an older medication. And what it does is that it causes the estrogen level, decreases your estrogen level. Thank you. Hi, Michelle. It decreases your estrogen level. So when the estrogen level is decreased, now here goes the hot flashes, and you will get different symptoms like that. And we'll also experience these in the perimenopause, during perimenopause as well. You'll experience you'll get some hot flashes, you'll get chills, sometimes even brain fog. These are things that you will definitely experience as well in the perimenopause phase. But when you're truly in menopause, you have had no period for an entire year, and you will still experience some of those symptoms as well. Also, you can talk to your GYN. Talk to your GYN. Know your bodies and talk to your GYN. There's so many medications. I know it's very taboo. I'm not going to talk about, I'm going to mention it, hormone replacement therapy. Years ago, there was this big thing on hormone replacement therapy that is going to cause you to have cancer and, different things like that. But there's so many research and studies now that have been done to show that hormone replacement therapy can be beneficial to a lot of women. So you have to actually have that talk with your GYN. Ladies, when your body speaks to you, trust your intuition and trust your gut, right? We have intuition and we have our gut feeling for a reason. And these are things that when something is off with you, you will know it, right? You will know because this is when your intuition will kick in, and that's how you will know that something is going on with your body, okay? So don't let anybody, even if you go to the doctor, let them know, like, this is the way I'm feeling, and don't let them, try to minimize your symptoms or what you're going through. You know your body. You know if there is a change. So don't minimize what you're experiencing, because what you're experiencing is real. Okay. So go with your gut and follow up with your doctor. Have the talk with your doctor. I know, sometimes if you can, build that relationship where you're comfortable. If you're not comfortable having certain discussions with your doctor, then maybe you need to find a different doctor. Okay. So, comment in the comments. I don't know if anybody is commenting, but if you want to just comment, like I said, anything that you would like to see in the future. I was saying that in season 3, I'm going to definitely try to be a little bit more visible in terms of, doing some of the episodes maybe live and talking about some more in-depth topics that are, plaguing us. I was listening the other day because Tabitha Brown, she's so funny. She's one of the ones that, she called it Perry. And she said, Perry just shows up. Perry just shows up. She's talking about that perimenopause. And it's so good to see women who are in, different areas, and women who, who have the platform are actually speaking about this, and women are actually listening. Okay. So, oh, look at me. I have one of the guys who is listening to me, but I won't, I don't want to mention his name, but hi, thank you for joining. I am so, so happy to have you. I'm so, so happy to have you join us, one of our male counterparts. So even the males are listening as well. So thank you so much for joining us. Okay. Okay. So ladies, what else do you want to share? I said I was just talking about sexuality during menopause. Oh yes, and oh yes, definitely, because someone says, nice going. We need to talk about it, and also talk about women's sexuality during menopause. Because during these times, and this is where communication, especially when you're in a relationship, for those of you who are married, you're dating, you're going through the menopause stages. These are conversations that you have to have with your partner. You have to discuss that, because there are going to be times when, nobody can touch you, nobody can talk to you because of how you're feeling. With the decreased estrogen, sometimes your libido goes down. You're not in the mood. So now we have to develop, other techniques or develop other ways, to get you into the mood where you actually want to feel that, experience that intimacy with your partner. And intimacy does not only include penetration, right? There's other things that you can do as well, in order to enhance that part of you. But that's the conversation that you all have to have. I really am so happy that some of the young men are joining in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I won't put you on the spot, but welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I guess they're joining in to tell their female counterparts what they're learning. But nice to see you. Hi. But yeah, during the menopausal, even perimenopause, because you're experiencing some of these things, right? It's gonna be in when you're not in the mood, you're not feeling in that way. So, like I said, you can't just negate or neglect your partner. These are conversation, and it's very important communication. I cannot say how important it is to communicate. And ladies, you have to take stock of your bodies. Like I said, you have to look. You go to the bathroom, look. Something abnormal, you have an abnormal discharge. You have something that you haven't noticed before. Look and make sure that when you do go and follow up with your doctor, that these are things that you're discussing with your primary doctor, right? There are things that we can also do. I mean, a lot of even people suffering in menopause. Oh, somebody's joining us on Facebook. Hi. Hi, Tiffany. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So Facebook is coming. Some people are joining from Facebook now. So happy to see you. Thank you for joining. Welcome. But this is something that you really have to, talk about with your partner, talk about, how you're feeling. Sometimes you may need to also have some counseling sessions, right? There's sex therapists that are available. There are counseling sessions that you can also do as couples, right? Because this is not something, especially if you're in a relationship, this is not something that you're going to be enduring by yourself. You have to actually include your partner as well. Okay. I mean, a lot of you also, I'm talking to my ladies who are suffering from uterine fibroids. Uterine fibroids is such a big thing. And in the Black and brown community, I don't know why or where this myth came from that you have to suffer. There's so many options now that are available. And one of the options that is available is uterine fibroid embolization. This is a procedure where if you are a candidate for it, they can actually go in through your groin and go in and they burn off the blood supply to those fibroids and you end up shedding them. That procedure is a little bit painful, and I'm not talking about during the procedure because, of course, you're sedated, but afterwards it can be a little bit painful, like the cramping and stuff like that that you're going to be experiencing. But it's less invasive than, say, having a hysterectomy, okay? Someone also said men need to know these things so that they can understand why their spouses are significant. Yes, and that is so true. So that's where the communication comes in, right? You have to we have to talk, because I feel like I'm gonna say this, and I know this is all about totally women as well, but I know the men listen too. But I feel like the men also go through their time as well, where they probably are experiencing, because I don't think that all men are in the mood at all the time as well. But that's a different conversation. But these are conversations because also sometimes our men are suffering from issues with prostate, right? And also that can affect their libido as well. Hypertension, if they're, blood pressure medication, that can cause decreased libido. And remember, in order for you to be a candidate for Viagra or Cialis, your heart has to be healthy, right? You have to be able to have a cardiology workup where you have a EKG that is very clear that you can be on these medication. So these are conversations that you have to have. Very, very important. Trisha is reminding us that, it's not just a one-sided thing. Both parties are definitely involved with that situation, of course. She said the men get grumpy too, right? So it's going to be two people grumpy. We grumpy and they're grumpy. Everybody can't be grumpy, right? So I love it. She said they're grumpy too. Yes. Oh my gosh. And sometimes ladies don't shy away from medication. Medication, they're there. I know, like for myself, I had started doing, the primrose oil. I know I still was getting the hot flashes, but I felt like it had me being like a little bit calmer. It's herbal as well. I feel like also at this stage in our lives, we need to be on some form of supplements. We need to be on like magnesium. We need to be on like B12. These are things that will help with our energy level. There's certain herbs also that are available that you can take. But like I said, before you go and you say, Rosemary say this and Rosemary say that, I'm giving you general information. You have to speak to your provider, whether it's your GYN, because I'm not privy also to some of the medications that you're on. And some of these medications, some of them can be like blood thinners and stuff like that. So you have to be very, very, very careful. Magnesium will help. It helps with your heart. It helps with mood and stuff like that. So it's very important depending on the form of magnesium that you're taking, because sometimes magnesium citrate, like that will help with constipation. They have different forms of magnesium. You have to speak to your provider on how much magnesium you need. Also, vitamin D3. A lot of us are vitamin D deficient. That will also help us as well. So taking supplements also will help us, even, during this stage as well. Okay. So very, very, very important. But these are conversations that you also should be having. And also, yes, somebody said help with sleep. Help with sleep as well. Magnesium. So magnesium is very, very good for you. Okay, so you can take magnesium supplement. You just have to be careful that if you're taking magnesium and you're taking calcium, that you're not taking them at the same time. You want to take, because sometimes one will offset the response of the other one. So you want to make sure that you're giving yourself a little time before you take the next one. Okay. So these are things that you want to talk to your provider about as well. And that's why I said the screenings are very important. Also to screen for diabetes, right? Get your A1C level checked. That is, your A1C will tell, if you're type 2 diabetic or if you're pre-diabetic or whatever. Some things that we can do to make simple changes is that sometimes we can just make some lifestyle changes. And these are things that will help us, instead of just because we don't want to just put someone on medication. Usually we try to get you on some lifestyle modification before we actually put you on medication. Unless those things are not helping, then we want to make sure that, if they're not helping, then now we probably would like to, and depending on how bad it is, to supplement you with medication. Someone said, "Can you get toxicity from these supplements?" I'm not sure what you mean. Maybe you mean like, is it meaning that you're taking too much or, whatever. And that's why it's very important to have your lab work done. This is why it's good to have your annual physical done. When you do your physical, it will show, what your potassium level is, for example. It will show what your magnesium level is. It will show what your iron levels are. So it's very important. So starting from there. So it's very hard for me to really answer that. I think it would depend on what your levels are and how much of these medications you end up taking, right? I feel like too much of anything is not good for you, right? Too much of anything. So everything has to be within moderation, or it has to be according to what your body needs based on the test or the examinations that your doctor has provided for you. Okay. So I think from there we can do it based on that. So nice to have you all joining me. Thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough. I don't know if anyone has any suggestions for, going into season 3. So season 3 coming up, because in August, we're going to make a year since we've started Totally Woman, the podcast. It's going to be a year coming up in August. So I would like to actually start season 3 around our anniversary time. So, if you ladies have any suggestions, any topics, anything, I know some of the topics that we're going to be covering, but if you have anything burning on you that you want to, talk about, then, you can drop it in the comments, or you can just email us again. The email address is totallywomanpod1@gmail.com. Okay, so whatever you want to see as we're moving forward, just let us know what else that we can do, or what else I can do in order to, to just make this podcast where we just continue to grow with each other. I still just, I'm so grateful. I know I keep saying it, but I really, really am grateful. I really, really am thankful. I really also want to thank, because this season was kind of epic for us, where during this season, we were also featured on Amazon, I think it was Amazon Radio, or Amazon Music. We were featured, our podcast was featured for the entire month of March during Women's History Month. So that was actually, a good thing for the podcast. So I want to thank you guys for your support with that. I also want to thank you because we're over 1,000 listens. So I know it seems like, 1,000 listens, but that in the grand scheme of things, that is so not bad. So I really, really want to thank everyone who has continued to join me. I want to thank my newcomers because there's so many of you who have, to everyone who has spread the word, or for those of you who are, coming on and it's your first time joining. I really, really want to just welcome you, and I really want to thank you. I really hope that the content that we have put out has really blessed you. I know sometimes, and we talk about everything. Nothing is off limits. We talk about, money. We talk about our mental health. And speaking of our mental health, I really want to thank Heather Dennis. She's our resident nurse practitioner. She's our psych nurse practitioner. And I really, really want to thank her for, all of the little nuggets and everything that she's given to us, during the time that we have been here. I really, really want to thank her so much, for just being someone who is a part of this podcast. I want to welcome Prisha. She is new to our podcast. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you will continue. And ladies, listen, if it's your first time, you can always go back and you can always binge listen. I didn't even know if that is a term, but forgive me if I don't, forgive me if I'm saying it wrong, but you can, just like how you binge watch, I guess you can binge listen, to the previous seasons. You can listen on Apple Podcasts. You can listen if you have iHeartRadio, and you can also go to icn.dj.com to listen as well. If this is like your first time and you want to catch up on some of the others, on some of the other episodes that we have done, you can go and binge listen to them, especially during this time that we're going to be having our break. Okay. So ladies, what other topics? I don't know what else, if you feel like there's anything else that you want to, talk about. I feel like we're going to be going into, more stuff on menopause as we go along. We're going to be going into more stuff dealing with uterine fibroids and just getting your GYN checkup. We're going to be talking more so about also, STDs and stuff like that. Douching, I don't know if people still are even doing that, but ladies, please, we should not be douching. And we see all these things now too about, different creams and different, deodorizers and stuff like that. I don't know for, vaginal health. And I'm from the old school. I believe that if you're having odor coming from your vagina, that, it's smelling like that, then I really do think that you may need a GYN visit, right? There's certain things, maybe like bacterial vaginitis, which just is something that, the normal flora, for example, like the pH may change for whatever reason. Maybe because, you probably use like some deodorant or new toilet paper or something that is scented. I really am against some of these scented deodorizers and things that you're putting inside of your vagina, right? Because that's when you mess up your pH and putting it inside. No need to put anything inside of your vagina in terms of, these creams and stuff like that. It will definitely throw your pH off. And this is when sometimes you're getting bacterial vaginitis and different things like that. And like we know, bacterial vaginitis, that is not an STD. So that can always be treated. We talk about like boric acid suppositories and different things like that can help. I just don't think that you should be douching. And I don't think that some of these creams that, they come with all these recommendations of inserting, because I feel like the additives that is in them is not necessarily good for you. So I feel like the more natural you say, take a good shower. I still listen, take a good shower. I know the shower police is going to probably come for me, but let me tell you something. You need to take a good shower, wash yourself properly. Your perineum area, that's what it's called, from your vagina to your anus, right? And when you wipe yourself, it's the proper way of wiping yourself, because a lot of times we take for granted that people actually know this. And sometimes if you weren't taught the way how to do it, then you won't know. So this podcast is very informative. And I just want to put that information out there that you need to wipe yourself properly. Wipe yourself starting from the front to the back. You teach your daughters the same thing. Wearing cotton, make sure that your underwear is the crotch part of it is cotton, right? It's lined with cotton. They have thongs. For those of you who like your thongs, make sure that your thongs are cotton lined as well, because then they can absorb more moisture, right? But you definitely have to clean yourself. Good old soap and water. Like I said, it doesn't have to be anything with all these extra additives and stuff like that. Just the old fashioned way that we've been taught is definitely good enough. Hi, look at my little cousin here. Hi, Patrice. Hi, thank you for joining. Still, we have some people coming in. So these, we're just going to be, wrapping up in a little bit. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, ladies. I can't thank you enough. And again, I'm going to show our little bookmark again. This is something, I know we have a lot of readers now. So many people are reading. So, we want to just get you this bookmark. If you can just name a guest who was on our show, you can name a guest that has been on, let's just say we've had 2 seasons. So if you can name any guest that has been on the Totally Woman podcast, you can actually email us at totallywomanpod1@gmail.com, and I'll send you one of these bookmarks. Okay. So that's the trivia. That's the trivia for tonight in order to just get one of these bookmarks. So email us, like I said, if you have something that's, on your mind that you want to just put in the chat that you want to see us discuss in the future, as we are going to be coming back for a 3rd season, just share or make a comment. And don't forget to share with your friends. We've had new people coming in. I love you too, honey. We have new people joining. Thank you so much. Tell a friend. I want to let me just take a few seconds just to thank the men who have been so supportive. I really do have some men out there who are really supportive of me, and I want to thank them so, so much. Okay. Thank you all. You know who you are. So I really, really want to thank them. Some of them are even on here right now who have joined in. So I just really want to thank some of the men for their support. They've been with me since the 1st season, and they're still with me now. So thank you so much to those men who are supporters of the Totally Woman podcast. And I can't thank the women who continue to just be with me. Thank you so, so much. Thank you for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. And I can't wait for you to join me in another season. So anything else, ladies, before we go, as we're winding down? I don't know if anybody has anything else that they want to just, make a comment or say, or anything that you want to add. Thank you so much for all the love. Thank you. Thank you for those who are joining on Facebook. Thank you for those who are joining on Instagram. Thank you so, so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you. Wow. Cheers to an amazing end of the season. So thank you so much. Thank you, ladies. And ladies, before I go, I just want to encourage you. I know sometimes, because we take on so much, some of you are experiencing, what too, before I even go, I actually wanted to thank my mom and my sister. They joined with me on the Mother's Day episode, which was so amazing to have them. My mom actually was a hit. I didn't even know that, but she really was. So thank you to my mom. Thank you to my sister, Mrs. Renee Gilbert, for joining us on that Mother's Day episode. It was really, really amazing. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. So, like I said, nobody knows your body more than you do, right? Don't allow anyone to minimize whether you're showing up to your doctor or you're going to the hospital for whatever reason. Do not underestimate how you're feeling. Don't put off how you're feeling, right? Usually when something is not going right with you, you definitely will know. So listen to your bodies, ladies. take inventory of your bodies. What do I mean by that? When was the last time you look at yourself, right? You do your self-breast exam. It's never, never too late, right, to do that. If you're due for your mammograms, get your mammograms done. Are you due for a physical? Are you due for your colonoscopy? These are things, ladies, that we want to prevent getting these diseases if we can. We want to prevent getting breast cancer by doing our mammograms. We want to prevent getting colon cancer from doing our colonoscopies. We want to prevent getting cervical cancer by doing our pap smears, right? Remember, age 21, if you're 21, then you can get a pap smear done. So I just want to encourage you to know your body, take stock of your body, look, notice if something has changed. Now, like I said, the summer months are getting summer is already up on us, right? Now you're being exposed to the sun, you're going out into the sun. Wear sunscreen. Use a moisturizer, right? Tinted moisturizer. I've learned that. So, I went to Sephora. I'm not a big makeup person, but and I don't want to go into all of these things, but I was able to get by Fenty Beauty, one of the what you call that now? Oh my God. Where's my millennials to help me? One of the I don't know the name of it. It's getting, but it's for the under eyes. For the under eyes, you put concealer. Oh my God. That's the perimenopause, perimenopause kicking in. So just having like concealer or tinted moisturizer. And a lot of them, they contain, they have SPF in them of 30 or greater. So you can use this on your skin. There's also, thank you, Tiffany, for helping me. Thank you. Concealer, yes, you can put that on. And even I just like to, maybe a little blush or something. And then I like to do my little eyebrows. I have to use the pencil that, is actually shaped like I think it's I don't even remember the name of it. But anyway, just to do little things like that. And ladies, you'd be surprised to see how good doing some of these things make you feel, right? So don't minimize the symptoms that you're having. Know your body, learn about your body, look at your body, right? For those of you who are doing your self-breast exam, when you're doing your exams, make sure that you're working in a clockwise direction. Make sure that you're actually looking at your nipples. You're moving your breast out of the way. If you have to lay on your back and feel, and just make sure that you're feeling. Also, you want to make sure that you're feeling your lymph nodes. So like you have to go under your armpits as well. Okay. So these are things that I want to just encourage us that we're doing for ourselves because it makes the world of difference. And do not let anyone tell you that what you're going through or what you're feeling is not what you're feeling. You know your body. Nobody knows your body better than you. And in this day and age of perimenopause and menopause, communication, taking supplements. Taking supplements is also very helpful and it can be beneficial. But like I said, make sure that you're actually talking with your provider and you're talking with your GYN doctor about these things. I cannot wait to join you on the next season. This kind of stuff gets me really, really excited. Just talking to you and just ensuring that, the information that I'm giving is beneficial to you. So ladies, like I always say, continue to inspire, continue to uplift, and continue to motivate each other. I can't wait to join you in season 3. So cheers to season 2 and the end of another successful season. Thank you so, so much. Cheers, everyone. Yes. Thank you so, so much. Cheers. Cheers to everyone. And again, like I say, thank you, and thank you so, so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Cheers again. Cheers.